within Islam that has a particular reference for Jesus. Over the last 40 years, he has collected copies of many ancient Indian and Tibetan documents that he claims prove Jesus came to India.
This is the Tibetan document which is translated from the Chinese. It tells about Jesus spreading his message among the lost sheep. His name is the glass mirror. He says, Yusu the teacher and founder of the religion, who was born miraculously, proclaimed himself as the savior of the world. Now here is a document, Bhuveshe Mahapuran. This is the most important document. It says that Jesus comes to Kashmir. He meets the king Shalivahana about 78 AD, and he tells him that his name is Ishwaraputram and Kanya Garbham, born of a virgin and son of God.
And when was this document discovered?
It's an ancient manuscript, and its date is 117.
117?
Yes.
So this is literally a 2nd century document,
yes,
which says that Jesus was in Kashmir.
Yes, yes.
That's very early.
This is early. He meets the king of Kashmir. This is the most important document.
Can you tell me what Jesus did when he was here? What happened?
You see, the first information what we get, that he meets the king.
Meets the king.
And he explains to him how he fled away from the land of Malichas there, and how he suffered there, and how he came to this place. And he stays here. When he stays here, Persian sources and Arabic sources say that here he changed his name from Jesus to Yuzu. In Kashmir he adopted this name, Yuzu. And he continued here till his death, and he was buried here.
Did he get married when he was here? Did he have children? What did he get?
Yes. You see, according to the two sources which I got, that Yuzu married Marjan, and he had a child named Joachim.
So when Christians, and I as a Christian, have been taught to believe that Jesus is crucified, he dies on the cross, and then he's resurrected. So what would you say to Christians who say this is the tradition of Jesus?
You see, I will tell them that Paul, being a Roman, he invented some dogma, and the Roman emperors, they propagated that dogma, and that dogma influenced Europe, and they think that that dogma is correct.
One of Professor Hussain's documents even claims that Jesus is buried in Kashmir. So tell me about this one.
Is Tariq-e-Kabir by Muhyiddin. It tells about the story of prophets and saints. It says that one Hebrew prophet is buried there, and he was a prince who came to Kashmir thousands of years back, and he was so pious, and he became a prophet. Now there is the decree of this shrine, what we have shrine here. Now the Chief Justice of Kashmir, he gives a decree. He says that this is a shrine called Yusasaf Pagambar alayhi salam.
So this suggests that the tomb is the tomb of Jesus. This is where Jesus is buried.
Yes, this legal document says he's the prophet. Yusasaf is his name.
According to Professor Hussain, Jesus is actually buried in a small shrine in the center of Srinagar. It is located in a very religiously sensitive part of the city. Professor Hussain is no longer able to visit the tomb because his beliefs about Jesus contradict mainstream Islamic teaching, and he has received several death threats. Could you tell me who it is who's buried here? Because I've been told that it may be Jesus.
ये तो यहाँ एक मुसलमानों की एक पैगंबरों में से एक पैगंबर है.
This is one of the many Muslim prophets, but Jesus is not buried here. Because it is written in our holy book, the Muslim Quran, that Jesus has been taken up to heaven, to Allah.
लेकिन कादियानी जो है मिर्जाई वो तो गलत रंग में इसका जवाब दे रहे
So those people who say it is Jesus are giving incorrect information by saying that he's here.
क्योंकि कोई मुसलमान
No Muslim in the entire world would say that Jesus is buried here.
हजरत ईसा जूजिस मदफून.
Many Western scholars also dispute Professor Hussain's claim that this is the tomb of Jesus, and in particular, the dating of his documents. Why was it, do you think, that Jesus came here to Kashmir? Why Kashmir?
My point is, general impression in the West is that Jesus belongs to the West. They think he was a Westerner, maybe white man. But the fact is that Jesus belonged to the East. He was not born in the West. He was born in the East. He belongs to us. We have information about him in Persian, in Urdu, in Kashmiri, in Chinese, in Sanskrit, in Arabic language, in Tibetan also, in many languages. We have lot of information about him in our books or manuscripts and something. So naturally we have to search Jesus in the East.
Here in Kashmir, we have uncovered an incredible story about the life of Jesus. One that not only fills in the missing years, but also roots him not just in the Middle East, but also here in India. It's a story which at first glance sounds unbelievable. Jesus in Kashmir, but it's told in so much detail, and it has so many documents to support it, some going back to the 2nd century, that it can't be dismissed out of hand. But above all, it tells us something that we in Western Christianity often forget. That the real Jesus is a man of the East, and that he belongs as much to Asia as he does to Europe. Professor Hussain's views about Jesus dying and being buried in Kashmir contradict mainstream Islamic thought. So I wanted to find out what the Quran says about Jesus' death. The Egyptian capital, Cairo, is home to the world's oldest Islamic theological university, Al-Azhar. Its rector is Dr. Ahmed El-Tayyib. In the Christian Bible, the New Testament, we're told that Jesus was crucified, died, and then was resurrected from the dead. What does the Quran tell us happened to Jesus at the end of his life?
We
believe, according to the Quran, that Jesus was not crucified, rather that another man was made to look like him. God made a man resemble him so that the Jews thought he was Jesus, and he was crucified in Jesus' place. Jesus was raised by God to heaven at that time. He was not crucified, but someone who looked like him was crucified.
For Muslims, Jesus has a very special future role. According to the Hadith, Islamic prophetic traditions, Jesus will return to earth before the Day of Judgment.
He will descend at the white minaret in the eastern side of Damascus, wearing garments dyed with saffron, and placing his hands on the wings of 2 angels. Every non-believer who smells him will die. He will then search for the Antichrist and will catch up with him at the gate of Lud and will kill him.